Hey everyone, welcome to my second episode of my viewing of Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Today we're gonna have a special guest.
Me.
Yeah, me.
Me. Not you, me.
Yeah, this is the second episode. There's two title cards, so I'll be inserting two title cards into this picture. The first one is an unfamiliar ceiling. And this takes place right after part one, or episode one, and it goes through the first fight with Angel 3, the third angel.
Yeah, it is the third.
Yeah, with the third angel. And, go ahead, you do the synopsis this time.
What?
What's the episode about?
It's about a fight where Shinji pilots Unit 1 for the first time, and of course he screws up. Because why not? And so he ends up losing to the angel, and then it turns out he ends up at the hospital. Flashes all the way to the next day.
Yeah, the first half of the episode is what happens at the very start of or at the very end of the last episode, where Shinji finally gets to get piloting Eva unit, and you see the fight scene and you see the toll that the battle takes on him, and then it stops abruptly, and it goes into a whole different episode where he's recovering from the actions of the fight. This is actually kind of pretty interesting, considering the fact that they make you wait to see what happened. Like, you see him take massive trauma while he's piloting the Eva, and then it stops. We get this whole different intro where they're talking about where he's gonna live and things like that. There can be an issue with that because it leaves the outcome of the battle kind of moot when you already know he's gonna live. But while they're doing that, they introduce a whole bunch of characters like... Or they kind of flesh out a little bit of characters who were in the first episode, like Risco, Masato Katsuragi, Shinji more,
and Ray.
Well, she's just kind of once again, she's kind of just introducing this episode. She has her own episode because there's one called Ray. Episode 4.
Yeah.
They also do a lot of pairing together of who characters will be later on in the series. Like, they kind of hint at the friendship between Masato and Ritsuko. And there'll be episodes later on that go into it in depth. So that's that part, and there's also the whole thing with the council and Gendo.
Yeah.
Which, at the end of the day, doesn't lead up to much because they get interchanged with Seele. But there's a lot of nice interludes. Oh, we also get introduced to Pen Pen.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of has a nice little part, which is kind of one of the scenes that everyone seems to remember about the show. Then there's the whole thing about Shinji's trauma, to which when we get to the second part, the Beast. We get a little bit more into everyone's kind of psychological interactions. Because we get into how Shinji sees Masato, how Masato thinks Shinji sees her, and then we finally end up at the end of the episode with
the battle continuing between Eva Unit 1 and the Third Angel.
And what did you think of the fight?
It was cool. Unit 1 went berserker.
Yeah, it's...
At least after what happened.
Yeah, after he
got shut down, he went berserk and then eventually killed the Angel. And then he even showed off his true form, the Beast.
Yeah, which will be something that the show will go into later on as far as what the Evas are. But, This is an episode that kind of sets up a lot of things in very indiscreet ways, because it sets up a couple of relationships. We even have a very telling scene about Gendo, the elevator scene.
Oh yeah.
Where he sees Shinji, he just looks at him and he's like...
And the elevator goes up.
Yeah, that's it. For a lot of the people who say this is a show that started off as a Monster of the Week movie, you obviously aren't paying attention. This is Anno's fourth year, or at least the start of his getting through stuff, and he does it with action, character development or character placement, and then he ends it with action. This, once again, after episode 1, this is building up on everything from 1. So, anything you have to say?
No.
That's episode 2 of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'll be doing part 3 by myself tomorrow. So,
Peace.